Hey, this is Amal from TechLeatherCraft. I want to take a moment to review some Bluetooth wireless headphones I picked up. These are from Awei brand. If you look on Amazon, though, they are listed under Pobon headphones. So I'm not sure exactly which brand. But anyway, this is the A920BL. They're called sports stereo headphones. However, I didn't see any mention of water resistance on the packaging itself. So do be aware of that. Some of the specs I'll talk about: it is Bluetooth 4.0. It has intelligent noise reduction, HD audio, and can be paired with 2 units at a time. And the packaging says it's listed for 6 hours of music or talk time and 120 hours of standby time. I did find it was probably closer to 4 hours of talk time, or I guess playback time. I was listening to YouTube videos and podcasts, so your battery life may vary, but I got it around 4 hours, give or take. Do keep in mind most Bluetooth headphones, since the battery is contained in the actual headphone portion, that will affect it. And since these are smaller, the battery life will be less. So I'm gonna guess I got around 3 to 4 hours altogether, depending on whether I was talking on it and changing the volume up and down, that kind of stuff. All right, so let's talk about them really quick. In the packaging, I already unboxed it. I'll just talk about what we got. You get pamphlets in multiple languages talking about pairing and stuff like that. And then what you end up getting in the rest of the accessories, you get this micro USB charging cable. It's a flat cable. It's a flat design. You get a clip. You can actually clip, feed it into there, and clip it to your shirt if you wanted to. And you do get multiple sizes of headphones. Now the headphones that came with this, the plugs that came with this, the original size was medium. I did find they were kind of loose, so I switched to the large version, as you can see right here. These work alright. I'm probably going to end up having to use these little ear loop things they have. That kind of looks like they slip on right there, just to make sure it's a secure fit. They can slip out. They're a nice soft silicone, earbud, but it does slip out a little bit out of my ear, depending on how much you kind of put it in. So I'll probably end up using these little loops, but depending on your ear size, that may vary. So really quick, one of my favorite features of this is, first of all, the size. You can see, compared to some of the other Bluetooth headphones that we have, these are really large. When you have them in your ear, they're very noticeable. You can see they have the loops already attached right there. And then the other thing is a separate control. I like having, there's a volume button here. There's a plus and a minus volume button. If you long press them, they'll skip or advance tracks. And this is the play, pause, and pairing button. You can see there's a charging port. So it takes a regular micro USB, which is really nice. This one does take micro USB also. It's hidden behind this port. I've already reviewed this on my channel. One of the things about this, though, is it's really hard to get this cover off. But these are advertised as being waterproof. These ones say sport, but I have a feeling, just because it's exposed connector here, I have a feeling these are not waterproof. But it is something to be aware of. Other thing I'll mention is the backs of these are magnetic, so hopefully you can make this out. But it's a pretty decent strength magnet. You see about half an inch, maybe a little bit more. They attract. What that means is, though, if you're listening to these and this is around your neck, for example, and you have these plugged in, once you're done, you can snap them together and hang them from your neck, and you don't necessarily have to worry about them falling off. Now, even though they're pretty strong, they'll of course come loose if they shift, but for the most part, they work really well with just hanging around your neck. I didn't find it slipping off at all. They are balanced alright. This is the left earbud, and I did find every once in a while that this provided pull down a little bit from my ear, and so the left side came out of my ear a little bit more than the right hand side one. But overall, they work really well. And like I said, I think once you pair it with these little kind of ear retainer catchy things, that I think they'll work even better. I'll test that out and I'll let you know if that. I do think that that problem will be solved if I used these little connectors, which I'm guessing you probably should be using. The other thing I really like about this is if you watch my leather YouTube channel, you know I make my leather cord holders, and you know usually for headphones you slip the headphone jack into this section, and you know you snap it shut. You could also, I was using these like this, where you could just kind of wind it around, you know, and it created a pretty decent package I could throw in my backpack or whatever, and that was alright, but it was still separated, and I was losing the functionality of these cuts that I had made in the leather, but it was working alright. One of the things I really like about this is that the headphones are small enough, and my slots are actually just the right size to get these in. So you can feed it through like that. And what I end up doing when I'm actually using it is I actually just slide it to the back. So I'll slide it to what would be the middle of my neck, I guess, or the small section behind. So they slip back here, and I just actually just snap this shut out of the way. And so when I'm using this, this is kind of a weight a little bit, and it's on the back side of me, so like kind of right on the back side of my neck, and so I can use it, and it actually doesn't create too much of an issue. I suppose if I want to counterbalance it, I can move it to this side, so then that'd be kind of weighing the same. Anyway, I really like that I can slip it on, because what that means is I can wind it. Now this does create a little bit of an issue because you know, it's a hard plastic thing, but there's probably different ways you could roll it. What I ended up doing is just using my 3 fingers, and you could snap it in here. I just kind of avoid it a little bit and bring it back around, and you can see it snaps it shut. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it keeps the wires from getting tangled up, and then when I'm ready to use it, I can just unwind it. I was able to get it to, depending on the leather option that I'm using, you can also just, in fact, snap it completely in there, but if you keep in mind, there is a button right there, so I do try to avoid usually that kind of scenario, but you could always just snap it like that. And you can see the leather just stretches around. And yeah, you can see it turn it on into pairing mode right now. So it's not something I use all the time like that, but it is nice that I can use my slip-on cables with these kind of. It is nice that I can use my leather cable holders with this. Like I said, there's multiple ways to kind of snap it. You can see this one, it has it on the back side now. And so when I have this in my bag, I pull it out. So anyway, I really like these. These have become my kind of go-to headphones. Unless I'm doing some major running, or if I'm sweating a lot, I might just end up using these. But these look way nicer. Like I can walk around with these snapped, you know, if I'm wearing a shirt or whatever, and they look really nice. The sound quality on these are pretty nice. They're about comparable to these, or kind of your standard headphone style microphones. The sound quality on these are pretty nice. They're comparable. There's actually a lot more bass than I anticipated. I thought they were going to sound kind of tiny, more treble, but in fact there's actually a really nice bass response on these. The sound from the mic as you're speaking, callers reported no issue. it does mention it has noise reduction technology. So for the most part, I didn't have anyone complain about it. Similar to these, so they're probably on par with most Bluetooth headphone slash microphone units. I do like, one of the things I really like about these is having the volume and the volume plus and minus separated really far from each other. I've actually memorized it now just in the last 2 days, that I know that the left hand side, as you go back down the cord, I know that's the volume up, or the track forward, and that the one furthest away near the headphone, near the charging port, is the minus. So I can in fact interact with this unit without having to look at it. Of course, that might take some time. One thing I didn't like about these is that the power button for these is built in right here. So you had to push and hold that down. And there was two things that kind of came up. One is if this is in your ear and you're pushing this way, it kind of creates a little bit of a force, which I didn't like. It was a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. And the second is if you're trying to push it not in your ear, so if you're just holding it, you really have to be aware and notice the light when it turns on. On these, the lights are really close to the button still, but if you push just the edge, it's really easy to push, and you can see the light just lights up. And I don't know, your finger could still get in the way, but not as much as these ones, because the light is actually in the button right here. And then when you power off, and there's a red light right there. So I like how this powers on and off a little bit better. And it does provide the same type of voice prompt that these do, which is, when it's powered on, powering off, and paired. And when it does all those things, it tells you in here. But you can also really easily tell, even if you're pushing the button, you can tell what you're doing because of the lights. With this, if you're trying to push the button and your thumb is in the way, you are going to miss the blue light as it lights up. So hopefully you can make that out right there. The blue light is on, but it is really hard to press the button and at the same time keep your finger out of the way. So that is one other thing I like about this control, even though it is a little kind of awkward with the casing just kind of out like this, and it could provide some pull down on one side of the ear. I'd rather carry this with me on a day-to-day basis than these. Having said that, each one has its place. Like I said, if I was running, these feel a little bit more secure when I'm running and going for a walk, whereas these ones do fall out. Now I'm gonna end up adding these little loop things, to make them fit in the ear canal a little bit better and catch onto your ear like these ones do. And hopefully that will improve the retention in the ear. Overall, guys, I really like these headphones. They look really nice. They do have a gold version available, which I might pick up. I guess it's supposed to match like the iPhone look, whatever, but I like these little magnets, and I like that it can hang without you having to worry about it's kind of slipping off your shoulder. These did do that. These did do that every once in a while when I was wearing them, and if the cord was unlevel and just enough of this was hanging a little bit longer, over a while this would start to slip, and I would catch it and it didn't fall off, but I always noticed that one side became longer than the other, and it potentially could have fallen off my shoulder. Whereas with these, you don't really have to worry because it becomes like a little necklace type deal. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you are interested, I will have links to these on the website. If you are interested, I will have links to these on Amazon. Once again, they're called the Awei brand, but they're listed under Pobon. And you can pick up a black or a gold one. I think that's the only colors they have, but you can go check that out on Amazon. Take care.